720 pounds lost total. Two guys, normal people, here tonight on 600 Pounds Down podcast. I'm Coach Justin. Along with me is Coach George. We're super excited to be here tonight. We're here to talk a little bit about our stories and what that consists of. I mean, George, that's a lot of weight. 720 pounds combined weight, you and I doing this thing. That's a lot of refrigerators if you were to pick them all up at the same time. That's a lot of tires. That's a lot. You're a butcher. That's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat. That's a whole animal right there.
Just a little bit. That's like an elephant. No, just kidding. That's not quite an elephant. But still, we are up there. We're like becoming. But it's been crazy. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. On 600 Pounds Down podcast. Super exciting stuff. George, how have you been, man? What's going on with you lately?
Oh man. Well, my son, he starts T-ball in 2 weeks, so that's going to be really fun, really great. Super excited to see him start getting more like active in sports and whatnot. So he's going to be turning 5 in June, and we are working on our launch program right now, and that's going to be really good. That's going to be great. What else is going on right now? Oh,
wait, we're working on a program?
I think so. It launches May. Oh, that's next month. Oh shoot, that's next month. Oh,
this is gonna be exciting, man.
Dude, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I've just so everybody's aware, I've launched programs before. They've been phenomenal. People lost a bunch of weight on those, but we're launching this together with Coach George and myself, doing a dual coaching process with this whole thing. It's going to be great. We're just excited to help people shed fat, get healthier, lose fat, gain life, kind of something like that, right? I think sometimes fat robs us, or being overweight robs us of experiencing a great life. And we get insecure about ourselves. We lose confidence. We're not healthy like we want to be, and kind of just put our hands in the air saying, where do I start now? Where do I go from here? Like, this is overwhelming, but we're going to actually help people across the board understand how to live a healthy lifestyle. George, really, it can be like this. It can be like something that doesn't even feel like a healthy lifestyle. It can be a normal, everyday thing that you do, just becomes habitual, changes your life, and you walk on as a brand new person, which I think is the way to go. Because we're not doing no dietary, hey, diet culture says we got to go in the gym for 3 hours a day, brother. We're not doing that. That's a little Hulk Hogan to me, sorry. But, we don't have to do that. We don't have to just eat. I mean, dude, I've been on diets before that just consists of salad and I don't know, egg whites. I've done that, and boring, right? We want to do something more than that. So we're going to offer that to everyone coming up here in later spring here in 2025. I'm super excited about that stuff because I love helping people across the finish line, man. It's great stuff.
Absolutely. Hey man, what's going on with you? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, glad you asked. I was sick as a dog last week.
Yes,
so all y'all who are like passing around these germs that are killing people, okay? Like, my lungs were on fire. My throat was on fire. My face, my everything wasn't feeling good. So it was bad, man. I couldn't sleep very well. I had the whole head cold thing. It was bad. So it's kind of miserable to be sick. And then everybody's like, bro, I thought you were healthy. Why are you sick? Let me tell you something. Healthy people get sick too. We just fight it off better, right? That's right. You're prone to survive it. So I've been dealing with that. I told everybody today I'm 91.7% better. So I'm getting to the place where I feel like I'm actually above water. That cough kind of lingers, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm back to exercising, back to the gym. Now I'll share some people here that I do deal with some heart arrhythmias, which makes exercising a little unique. So if you have an arrhythmia like atrial fibrillation, maybe you have some PVCs, SVT, atrial flutter, things like that, I deal with those things. And that makes exercise kind of scary sometimes, because when your heart rate is going up, sometimes it makes you more prone to experiencing some types of palpitations that aren't very pleasant to feel. And so you have a choice. You freak out or you don't freak out. And I try not to freak out, because when your heart's going weird in your chest, so I can't lift as heavy as I want to, because it brings on a lot of strain to the heart, and that creates some arrhythmias sometimes. So I got to be careful. It's, but here's the thing. And this is why I say this. We don't make excuses. We still do our
Right.
thing the best that we can when we can, and we listen to our body the whole time. So I don't have an excuse. I can still get on a bike. I can still go for a walk. I can still lift some weights. I might not be able to go heavy like I want to, but that's okay. I'm still going to get strong, and I still build some muscle in my body. I don't have to go all out to build some muscle. So guys, there really are no excuses here. It really just comes down to you kind of navigating your own life and adapting to help yourself get to a place where you can say, I can do this. So hopefully that encourages you, because you're not too far gone, no matter what condition you're diagnosed with, no matter what your body's telling you, like, I can't do this. You can do this, but you can do this in such a unique way. It doesn't have to be what Coach Justin and Coach George do, but it can be something you can adapt to. Mostly everyone can go for a walk. Let's be real. Mostly everyone
Absolutely.
can clean up their diet. Mostly everyone can drink some more water. Mostly everyone can sleep better if they tried, right? Like, we can try to find a process of becoming healthier us. I'm talking a lot, but you kind of know what I'm saying. Like, where we don't need to have excuses. We can do this thing and make it work for ourselves. It just comes down to you taking the first step to do it.
And it got to a point, Justin, where you and I stopped making those excuses. We looked at our life, we took inventory of everything, and we thought to ourselves, and we said to ourselves, enough is enough.
Yep.
I can't do this anymore. I can't live this way anymore. If I continue to live this way, I'm going to die. And we're going to talk about why we made the decisions we did to start. But also, a lot of people talk about, like, hey, I lost the weight. But there is a lot of things that happened after you lost the 600 and I lost the 120. There was almost like, I don't want to say there was another journey, but it almost like there was, because now we had to navigate this life that we had never experienced before. You and I never experienced this kind of lifestyle before. We never experienced what it was like to gain muscle, what it was like to eat healthy. I mean, we are literally walking through the valley, not knowing what to do, where to go, what to say, who to talk to, and kind of figuring this out. And so tonight, what we want to do is we want to share our stories with you, the listener, because not to say that you need to do exactly what we did to get to where we are, but maybe there are some things that can help you. Maybe a way I eat can help you, or the way Justin works out can help you, or just give you ideas, spark ideas. But when it's all said and done, guys, you are looking at two dudes who lost over 100 pounds. Justin lost 600. I lost 120. That's 720 pounds. We know that you can do it. If we can do it, you can do it. And we're here to encourage you in that.
Well, you said it really well. You teed us up. Guess what? It's coming up next. And we're going to do a little throwback, George. Let's go back to season 3 intro, man, tonight. And then we'll go into our amazing journeys here momentarily. We'll see you in a minute here on 600 Pounds Down Podcast. What's it called, George? I mean, I'll let you say it. We don't want to say it.
Well, here tonight on 600 Pounds Down Podcast.
I love it. And I was given a death sentence at the age of 16. I became a slave to food and to fear. 799 pounds. 799 pounds. But here I am today, 600 pounds lighter. And I'm here to share my story with you to help you improve, to help you find your way, and to help you become a more motivated person. I'll be your inspiration. Here we go. Let's do this.
He's been on the Today Show, The Doctors, in the National Enquirer, and in newspapers and magazines all over the country. Don't miss the 600 Pounds Down podcast featuring Justin Willoughby.
The throwback. Hey, everyone.
Dude.
Welcome to 600 Pounds Down Podcast. Coach Justin, Coach George here to tell you and share with you tonight some encouragement, some inspiration, and really just to let you guys know there's always hope. I think it's easy to hear someone's story and say that's nice for them and good for them, but it's not going to happen for me. And if you have that mindset already, you have defeated yourself in such a way where you will not, I repeat, you will not experience freedom from addiction to food. You will not experience a fulfilled life if you've already defeated yourself in your mind. because a lot of it starts there. George, both you and I are a product of developing a healthier mindset so you and I could both see a better life tomorrow because we had to change what was once destroying ourselves in our mind. Addiction, laziness, even not understanding certain things and not being well equipped and being ignorant because of our own doing. We rather play video games, watch movies, drink Mountain Dew, and do what we want to do instead of actually equipping ourselves with the right answers to become healthier us and still enjoy those things in moderation, right? It's just different. So I'm excited to share my story tonight. You're excited to share your story tonight. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk a little bit about you, man. Let's go in with your story about where you were, where you are. We get to interview each other, which is gonna be really fun. So
I was gonna say, man, like because people have bits and pieces of it, but I rarely have. I don't think I've ever like walked through the entire thing. So I remember when I was in kindergarten, my dad was a little overweight back then, and I remember seeing him, and everyone seemed to like him. You know, didn't seem to deter his kind of relationships with people at all, or his life or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I guess it's, you know, if my dad is listening to this, I'm not blaming you. I was 5, so you know, it's on me. But I just did notice, like, all right, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't care. All right, it's fine. And so over the course of my life, I created some incredibly bad habits, really defeated me when I got to 5th grade. I remember getting to 5th grade, moved to a new school, and I was overweight at the time. And, you know, cliques have already formed, friend groups have already formed. And here comes the new kid, the chubby new kid who's quiet and shy and kind of weird. And, you know,
that part has not changed, let's be honest.
That was just some more socially acceptable. But, you know, so instead of dealing with my feelings, I decided to eat them instead. And I remember I was actually telling about a coworker of mine this the other day. 5th grade. You remember cafeteria pizza?
Oh, do I ever?
Cafeteria? Oh, dude, it was not good. Like, if you were to try to buy that pizza outside of school, that place would fail. But somehow, because it was inside of school, it was like the best pizza ever. And nobody liked the pizza, bro. Like, no one in my grade liked the pizza. But you know what I was thinking? Like, hey, don't throw it out. I'll eat it. Give it to me, dude. I had like 5 pieces of. I mean, I'm in 5th grade, man. These things are huge. You know, I'm having like 5 of these pieces every Friday. And yeah, I just created some incredibly bad habits. My sugar addiction was off the chain, dude. Like, I would, my parents had a vending machine business, and I think it got to a point where I ate more than they sold. I literally impinged on their financial situation because of that. I remember, dude, all right, we're being real tonight. All right. We're getting real tonight. I remember my mom would have bank envelopes of money in her purse growing up. And I mean, it'd be 20 after 20 after 20 after 20.
Mom was loaded with 20s. Let's go.
Dude. And I'd snatch 20s.
Yep.
You know, I'd snatch 20s. I snatched so much that my parents literally sat me down and they're like, are you like on drugs? Or are you like going out on the street and paying people to you know what, to you know who? And I'm just like, no, I swear it's just food. It's food. I'm buying food. Yeah. Like, they were like legit concerned that bad things were happening. And I mean, bad things were happening, but not like that, you know? And but that's how bad it was. Like, I took so much money from them. And then I remember at 19, I developed a blood clot that almost killed me. I had a 3-foot-long blood clot in my leg, a complete blockage.
3 feet of blood
3
clot.
feet, 100% blocked, base of my calf all the way up to my hip.
Wow.
And went to the hospital, woke up the next day, and it was like trying to breathe through a coffee stirrer. So, and they had gone to my lungs. So I had blood clots in my lungs at 19. And you want to know why I had blood clots in my lungs? I was overweight. I went to Creation Fest. Remember Creation Fest back in the day?
I think it's still going on once in a while.
Yeah, it's in, for those of you who don't know, it's in July. It's out in a field. It's a Christian festival. They were selling Mountain Dews for 75 cents or water for $1. And I thought I was being fiscally responsible.
I'll get more all out and do like in water. What a great deal.
All I drank was Mountain Dew for 4 straight days in the July heat. That's all I drank. My blood must have been like freaking syrup. I must have been so dehydrated. It almost killed me.
Yeah.
And you would think that'd be the turnaround. That wasn't the turnaround. I got bigger after that whole thing. When I got to college, I was 230. My freshman year, I shot up to 280, gained 50 pounds. My freshman year, people get the freshman 50, and I got the freshman 50. Brother, there was an Honest John's pizza buffet that was right across the street from the college, and they got a 10% student discount. Man, I had no shot.
Isn't it amazing? Like as I mean, because you have to get your money's worth, right? And it's a good deal. Like, let's go gorge on that. But I mean, those foods, let's be real, those foods make you want to come back for more because they taste so good. And we had no idea what it was doing to our body. We have no idea what that's doing on your inside and what's going to do. Nobody thinks about what you put in your mouth today impacts your tomorrow one way or another. We just don't. But anyway, go ahead.
Dude, well, no, fried stuff with cheese.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like fried stuff with cheese, right? I still like fried stuff with cheese.
I'll take two.
Yes.
I love it.
20? You said 20? 20. 30. We'll just make it an even 50.
We'll keep with the 20s because you took 20s all the time. So we'll keep with, 20 servings fine.
My mom is probably going to listen to this at some point, and she's going to be like, facts.
She's like, you owe me like $1,000.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. So, I got up to 280, graduated college, moved to Rochester, completely away from my family. And my parents tried their best, portion control. I mean, all this other stuff growing up. And up until I graduated from JCC in 2016, I was living at home because it was a community college. But then I moved away to Rochester. And I don't know if you've heard of these garbage plate things.
Oh, yeah.
That they got going on in Rochester.
I don't know about Rochester, but a bunch of food on a plate.
Oh, dude, meat sauce, mac salad, burgers, fries, 3 of those a week. 3 of those a week. Did you know KFC sells cookies?
No.
Well, let me tell you this. KFC, you have to ask for this. They don't advertise that they do this. So KFC sells 12 count chocolate chip cookies. At that point, what was it, back in like 2016, for $5. 12 count cookies for $5, bro. You had me at cookies. I mean, and then while I was eating those cookies, I would have a half gallon of whole milk chocolate milk that I would use to swig it all down with. That was almost a nightly occurrence. Every night or almost every night. My breakfast consisted of 6 Krispy Kreme donuts, and I wasn't too hungry in the morning, so it was just a quart of whole milk chocolate milk. Yeah, man. So let me show you this. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching the live, you're going to be able to see this. If you're listening, go to the YouTube, how old am I?
Go to,
and
or they can go to the web. They can go to the Facebook group too, if they want to.
Yeah, go to the Facebook group. But this is what I looked like right here. This was George in 2017. This is 2 months before I decided to lose weight. This is me at 310 pounds at Christmas of 2016. That's the Funkle right there next to me. Shout out to Uncle Ed. That's Funkle Ed right there. He's fun. But this is me. That was 310 pounds.
How'd you feel? You remember how you felt?
It's hard to say, man, because I had no other gauge. I had no other gauge to really compare it to. I had been pretty much like this since I graduated high school, and I just, you know what it was? It gave me that sense of freedom. I can eat where I want now. No one's telling me what to do, how much money to spend. I spent thousands of dollars on just really crappy food because I could. I had a car, I had a job, and I had moved away. All my inhibitions were gone. I didn't care. So what you are seeing in this picture right now is my emotions realized.
Mhm.
All what you're seeing. That's my emotional state. You can see my emotional state, and my emotional state was not good.
Hmm.
And
Basically, you're wearing your emotional state, right? It's like
I am.
I think people don't recognize that there's some inner stuff going on in the head to get us to this point, and sometimes we become numb to it, and we don't even
Yeah.
see it, and it's like a subconscious thing that just happens. And so until you see a picture several years later, and you're like, "What just happened? What was I thinking? What was going on?" And dude, you're not like you're a bad looking guy. You had a nice hairline, by the way. That was great. But you got it. You kept it fresh, even at a big boy.
That's right.
But yeah,
I'm wearing skinny jeans in that picture too, by the way.
I love it. Yes, and but knowing where you are now versus then, I mean, it's just evident that you had some things going on.
Yeah. So what I want to do, because I have talked about just how I lost the weight in the first place, but what I want to do tonight is I want to talk about the second journey that I had to take. So I did lose 120 pounds. I lost 90 of that in the first year. And then over the course of the next so that was 2016 to 2017 to 2018. And then from 2018 to 2020, from 2018 to 2021, I lost. So, I mean, if you want to get technical, I lost 130 pounds. 130 pounds. I say 120 because the weight that I'm about to show you guys where I got to, I don't really like to count that. It was not a good weight. And we're going to talk about this picture because Justin and I were talking about this off air, and I said a few things, and Jay's like, "Hey, you got to talk about that." Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But this was me at 310 in 2016 at Christmas. The next picture I'm going to show you is me in 2021. So that's me in 2021. I'm 175 pounds. I'm 6'2". Now people are probably looking at that and saying to themselves, "The kid is shredded," and you'd be correct. Kid is shredded. My veins had veins. You could see the striations in my shoulders. You can see I had a six pack. I mean, this is crazy. Like, look at this. This is the profile side. That was me. These are the pictures that I took the day I decided to lose weight. If you look at my stomach, you can see the stretch marks there. Now, you can obviously in the other picture, that's me at 175 pounds in 2021. I have a six pack, but I want you, Jay, what do you notice about that picture?
So I noticed your after picture.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You're in shape when it comes to like your muscle is showing,
yes,
but you're also very skinny.
Yes.
So like there's definition there, but you look like you lost a lot of weight. You kind of look too skinny somewhat.
So those jeans that I'm wearing in that picture, they're falling down. You can tell, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so glad they're not all the way. That would just
me too, because I need this picture for stuff like this. But that waist size is a 30.
Wow.
And they're falling down.
I've never been to 30. Wow. That's crazy.
So that's a 30. So this, I mean, you can see right here, my obliques are showing in this one. I got a six pack, but I have you see definition, but there's I'm just flat, just flat all the way down.
The mass isn't there. It's more like,
mass isn't there.
I mean, yes, you have muscle, you have it all, but you're what we would probably call like you're skinny muscular.
Right. Now here's the deal. I did not lift a single weight to get to that. It was just the eating. All that muscle right there is what I already had, and I probably lost a lot because I didn't work out, and I got to that weight. So when I got to that, and I noticed, and people were telling me like, "George, you look sick. like you look like," I was walking around daily like that. Now you might see someone like dialed down to a bodybuilding show like that. Like I was like, you want to talk about definition? I was stage ready bodybuilder right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, my body fat percentage was probably close to like a 7 or a 6.
Wow.
The fact that you can see my obliques right there, it means that I was probably about a 7% body fat, at least. So when people were starting to tell me, "Hey, you're looking sick," you need to do something. You need to eat more. Because here's the thing, Jay, I was scared to eat. I was terrified to eat. I was doing pure keto at this point, terrified to eat one meal a day because I was scared that if I changed a thing that got me there, that I was going to go right back to where I was. I was terrified. I was terrified to eat. I was terrified to go off keto. I was terrified to eat one more meal than once a day because I couldn't go there, Jay. I couldn't get back. If I got back there, there's no way I'm going back down again. And so then I started doing calisthenics. This is me after I started doing calisthenics.
So can you explain what calisthenics are to everyone so they know what
So
kind of workout you had?
Yeah. So body weight exercises that included cardio. So I did the Beachbody, what's it called? Insanity Max 30. I did Insanity Max 30. It is 5 workouts a week for 30 minutes. It's a high energy HIIT workout. Basically you have like throughout the 30 minutes, you have 3 or 4 30-second breaks. That's it. And you're lifting your body and you're just moving, because I didn't have the strength or the confidence to go to the gym yet. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. You can already tell. So in this picture, I've gained 5 pounds in 4 months, which is a lot for somebody. But you can start seeing mass. You can start seeing mass in my chest. You can start seeing mass in my shoulders, because now I had what it did. It made me eat more. I had to eat more.
So you kind of lost your fear to like the 1 meal a day thing. You started going to several times a day instead.
I did. Yeah. And I went lesser keto. I started introducing more carbohydrates like sweet potatoes. I was not doing that before because I needed the energy. It forced me to give my body energy. So this was in November 5th of 2021. And so after I started doing calisthenics, that picture of December 21 is before I started doing calisthenics. October 2017 is when I was 310 pounds. And this was October 2023, where I was 207 pounds. And clearly I started lifting.
Yeah. You were starting to get very massy, if you will, some mass going on.
But if you look between 21 and 23, I gained 30 pounds in 2 years. Now, granted, some of that is body fat, but you can obviously see that I'm a lot healthier than I was in 21. Because let me tell you this, December of 2021 is similarly almost equally unhealthy as October 2017. My test plummeted. My metabolism plummeted. My body didn't know how to metabolize well because I didn't give it the opportunity to metabolize well. The only thing it knew how to do was pull fat. And clearly in December 2021, I had no more fat to pull from. The fat that I had is what I needed to function. And so when I started lifting in October 2023, that was the result after 2 years of lifting. Now, in December of 2023, I took like an 8-month hiatus from the gym. Now, a lot of times people are be like, if I stop going to the gym, if I stop doing it for a period of time, I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to get big again. I'm going to gain the bad weight back and whatnot. I was going through a really tough time and I just didn't know how to deal. And I kind of shut down for about 8 months and I didn't really know what to do. And then you and I reconnected, and actually 600 pounds down is what got me back in there.
Back then, so, One Step Live, baby. Back then.
Yeah, man. So like the next one here, this is this September 19th of 2024. So this is solid. 8 months later. That was my first workout back after 8 months. I actually dropped back down to 190.
But you look different.
I look different. Did you guys know that to maintain, not build, but to maintain the muscle mass that you currently have on your frame, all you have to do is 1 workout every 2 weeks? That is all you have to do to maintain. Now, I lost muscle mass, but not that much. Here's the thing, guys. This is what I want to show you on this 8-month hiatus thing. Time is not... It's going to take a whole lot more to get to where you were. If it took you 20 years to get to where you were and you get to a really good spot, and for 8 months, you're having a heck of a hard time trying to get anything done, you're not going to get back. What took you 20 years to get, you're not going to get back in 8 months. So my consolation to you is, if you are taking a break, if you're kind of just coasting, if you're, have your cheat meal is turning into a cheat day and it's turning into a cheat week and cheat month or whatever, you can still stop. You can get back on track. It's not too late. All right. It is not too late. And this next one, this was January 2025. This was a few months ago.
Angelic, if you will.
So this is me at 200 pounds after a workout. Obviously my muscles are pumped up with blood because I just did a full body workout, but this is me at 200 pounds at 6'2" compared to the 175 and the 207.
Solid.
And like this is so excuse the face. This was a personal picture I sent to Jay, but it looks like
I get the face, guys. This is the type of friendship we have. Faces.
But I mean, yes, I'm flexing, but this is just what I look like now. You can see the loose skin. There's loose skin there. I have some around my midsection. I have some hanging off my chest. I'm very blessed that it's not hanging off my arms. That's a blessing. But this Greek God. What are you putting that up there for?
I had to.
Ben, I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. I'm skinny as crap though. I'm small as crap. Here's the thing, guys. The more you go to the gym, the smaller you're gonna feel. It's a combat thing for sure. But yes, so this is me. This is what I look like now. And I gotta be honest with you, Jay. I think shredded's overrated. If you are doing an event like our friend Adam, he's doing a bodybuilding show, that's different. But this is me. I don't know. It's hard to tell what body fat percentage I am because of the loose skin, but I would say 15%, which is a healthy body fat percentage. It's a healthy body fat percentage. I'm 6'2", I'm 31 years old, and I'm 200 pounds. I tell my son all the time, Daddy uses his strength to help people. I use it to help people at work. I use it to help people at church. I use it to help you. I'm strong to help people. And this is what I need to look like body fat percentage wise in order to make that happen.
Yeah.
And so this is just me maintaining that. And listen, guys, you might have a dream physique in your mind. If we can get you 80% of the way there, I learned this from Greg Doucette on YouTube. So this is not mine. But if we can get you 80% there, and let me tell you this, 80% of the real thing is more attainable and has more longevity to it than the 100% fake goal that you have in your mind right now.
That's good.
So that's like my post weight loss journey, trying to like figure it all out, man. Like just trying to manage this new life. I mean, listen, 2021 to 2025, man, like that's 4 years of really trying to figure my body out and trying to find a good balance, trying to find a good equilibrium. Yeah, man, like that's the goal.
I think, we all want quick results, right? We all want that scale to say 20, 40, 50, 100 pounds less yesterday. And with that comes a lot of discouragement, and it becomes a lot of why even bother? And I know I've said those words in the past. I know you've said them. I know a lot of people who have. And, you do yourself an injustice by not giving yourself the opportunity, no matter what the scale says, no matter what where your body's at right now, currently, you're taking an action step forward like you were doing, George, over the years, trying to figure out where do I go next with this? What am I supposed to do here? If it's not keto, if it's not OMAD, if it's not the gym, if it's not, where do I go? And, but the truth is you discovered it's like a treasure hunt along the way, but you didn't give up just because you took a wrong turn. You didn't give up just because you took a wrong food. You were like, I'm going in, and you had enough patience with yourself to do that. And that's where I want people to be today. When you hear the story like George's, like myself, the truth is it's trial and error for all of us. And we didn't get there overnight. So, George's story obviously was a journey over the years, just like your story is going to be a journey over the years. It's not going to happen overnight. And if you allow yourself to, dismantle the unrealistic expectations that you have, like George was saying a little bit ago, you're going to have freedom. And you're going to do this thing the right way. It's going to change your life forever. If you're in it just for your looks, I'm sorry, that's not always going to be possible to get you where you want to be. Greek god status, jokes aside, you're not going to get to that point if that's where you're aiming for, unless you have the best trainer in the world, the best diet in the world, no fun in life at all, and you're living a life that's inside the gym and have somebody cook for you. Realistically, that's all you get. And that's a miserable life to have.
With steroids.
With some roids. Yes, with some roids. Ben had a good question. Do you find that people who start more severely overweight have a propensity to go the opposite direction and develop eating disorders or push to be too skinny? What do you think about that, George?
Yes, I do. I 100% do, because if you get there, like as an obese guy that got to that point, here's the crazy thing. I remember we were on vacation. It was Christmas of 2020, and I was talking to my grandmother, and I was again, as I was 175 pounds. I maintained that for about a year, and my grandmother is like, wow, like, Trey, they all call me Trey. You're real skinny. My nickname. You're skinny. Jay, I thought I was fat.
That's crazy, because you were really skinny.
I was really. I look back on it now. I'm like, man, I'm shredded.
Yeah.
But like, I thought I was fat. So yes, I absolutely do. Especially if you get there, you might get there to the eyes of other people. I'm going to tell you this right now. In your eyes, you will never get there. You will never be skinny enough. If that is what you're going for, to be skinny, I'm telling you right now, you will never be skinny enough. Your mind is a crazy, crazy thing.
Yeah.
If you do not, I would lose the weight slower. That's the one thing I would do. I would have lost the weight slower, so my mind could catch up with reality.
Yeah.
Because I lost the weight so fast, my mind never caught up.
Yeah.
My mind never had an opportunity to register where I was. So I think, Ben, you're absolutely right. I think, yes, people who are overweight, severely overweight, have a propensity to go the opposite direction and develop eating disorders and get too skinny, because in their mind, they're not skinny enough.
Yeah. I've dealt with that in my story too, George, and we'll kind of go on that trail in a bit here. My story, 600 pounds down, is the name of the podcast, and it's birthed out of my story of losing 600 pounds. We should have called it 720 down, baby. That would have been really fun.
No, it doesn't roll off the tongue like that. I told you not to change. I want to let everybody know this. Justin comes to me and he's like, hey, should we change the name of the podcast? Like, don't change the name. It's Gas, man. The name is Gas.
It's Gas. It's good. Yeah. It's easy to find. It's good. But, it's interesting because what you were saying, letting your mind catch up. I mean, my story, man, I was always an overweight kid. I was a big boy. My parents never had the best eating habits, and I followed suit with that. Man, we were choking down like 2 pounds of hot dogs a night for a family of 4, have some buns and some potato chips on the side. And for dessert, we're going for some ice cream. Okay. Ramen noodles, multiples of cereal, chips and sandwiches all over the place. I just wasn't in the best place with our food choices. My parents would buy these bulk Dutch pretzels at Tops Friendly Markets. Shout out to Tops up north there. And it was great. We would go through a couple boxes a month. There was tons of pretzels in there, and they were like $40 a box, man. We would just gorge those things down. I would go for another one. But I was just always going for food. It was just something I really enjoyed. I remember sitting down one time and saying, I'm going to eat healthier today. And I was a young man. And I reached for a whole bag of apples and just took the whole bag of apples and ate the whole entire thing. That was uncomfortable after that, because that's fiber city. And it's like, this is the worst. But, I never in my head recognized that I was really overweight until I knew I was different than my friends, but until one day where I had to be sent to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Hospital, because I ballooned so much into weight. Now, I got that way, George, from really bad anxiety and panic attack disorders. It was literally robbing my life with fear, and I would go to food to cope with that, and food would just be my friend. I had a great relationship with it, but it was like one of those cheating exes. Okay. So you're like, oh, one night, it's all I need, right? And we're good. And then the next night, they leave you feeling low. They leave you, right? That's how it was. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And it was gone the next day. and I ballooned up, got really big. They sent me to Pittsburgh by ambulance from Bradford, where I'm from. You know where Bradford is? It's kind of close to Jamestown, really. So they took me up by ambulance and weighed me in. They said, Justin, you weigh 799, had me on oxygen. I remember, like, what am I going to do here? Am I going to live or am I going to die? And all that from an addiction, all of that from anxiety and panic disorder, all that because I was a lost kid, didn't understand who I was, find fulfillment in the wrong stuff, right? All the things like that happened. I lived my life playing video games, watching TV, being on a computer, and all sorts of things like that. I wasn't an active kid. I would get active once in a while, but I'd go right back in to get some food and go play video games. That was my life up until that point. And when I had me in the hospital, I was like, what's going to happen from here? Because, I mean, you hear about these things on TV, right? Like, this isn't normal to be that much weight. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I became a Christian when I was 14. This was 2 years later, but I wasn't like when I was that much weight, I was 2 years later, but I wasn't like a Christian who really followed 100%. You know, as a kid, you kind of have it in you, but you're kind of like, whatever. I'm still going to look at stuff on the internet. I'm still going to look at magazines back then. I'm still going to do what I want to do. And didn't really impact my life until finally came down to a point where Justin could have died. And now I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not invincible. And I think a lot of people think that when they get to be a large amount of weight, they think, I still have time. I still have time. You know, I'm still young. I'm only in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. You know, people in their 80s or 90s or 100s die. Not people earlier, but the truth is you don't know how much time you have, and the heavier you are, the more opportunity for you to have health conditions come up. And that's not to scare you into speaking something into existence over your life. In fact, I pray that you avoid all that stuff and never have that opportunity to experience those things. But when you are larger, when you are overweight, when you are obese, likelihood of developing premature disease goes up percentage every few pounds, actually. So I thought I was invincible. And I wasn't until that point came up, and I'm like, I need help. So that's when I said, Jesus, you have to be in my life. I cannot do this by myself. I give you my heart. Here I am. And then, I lost 600 pounds just like in 10 seconds. It was amazing. Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't that be amazing though? Like God, if you were there.
Like, would it be like if that could happen, say, boom.
Yeah.
What would stop us from getting back to that?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be instantaneous, but here's the problem with that instantaneous. You don't get to learn through the process. You don't get to live out the freedom. You don't get to live out the ability to say no, develop disciplines and commitments and things like that for your body and your life. You get to miss out on what we have today because of our stories of living out what we were going through and dropping the weight that we dropped and going through the obstacles, the struggle, the muck and the mire, all the mess. Because we've gone through that, we can be here today at 600 pounds down, sharing our stories and actually hosting a podcast for you to listen to today so y'all can hear amazing stories of people who have gotten healthier or have renewed their bodies and minds. So I'm thankful, George, for the journeys that we both have gone on. And it wasn't easy. I've had a lot of similarities like you. My diet wasn't perfect. I didn't recognize how big it was until I heard the news. I remember when I was losing weight, it was amazing because I went from eating sub sandwiches to this and this and this to an ice cream to all of a sudden cardboard and water. That's how I felt like I was eating next. I was like, I just would empty my calories. I probably had a 1,200 calorie a day diet, sometimes 1,400, which for a season's okay if you're really trying to cut, but you're losing fat and muscle and other things with it. But I lost in 1 year, 200 pounds, and next year, 200 pounds. So that was 400 pounds in about 2 years, which is pretty remarkable. And then from there, I kind of plateaued and just went down slowly, which was fine. But over a course of 8 years, I dropped about 600 pounds. I think I have a little picture I want to share with y'all here just to show you like my before and after. Most of you have already seen it if you do follow us here on 600 pounds down, but just to kind of show you where I was at. Now, this is kind of a cutout here, but I mean, this wasn't my largest picture. I'm showing you if you're watching this now on live, or if you're going to watch this on YouTube, or check it out in the 600 pound face down 600 pound face down group, 600 pounds down Facebook group. Okay. Let's do a re-edit. Let's just cut this and edit. Okay.
You are gonna get us taken off the social medias.
We lost my face. My face is getting red. Okay. So
Is Kristen listening to this right now?
Nope. Ain't good. So my biggest picture right here, I was probably about 650 pounds right here. And so I dropped, 600 pounds. So really, this doesn't do it enough justice. I actually weighed a little bit more than this. But this was my lowest right here. I was probably like 204 right here. So I was getting pretty skinny. I didn't my clothes didn't really show it justice, but I was getting pretty skinny here. I was getting like kind of like George when he got really low. He looked like he had muscle, but he didn't have much mass to him. That's kind of I was at too. I was getting toned up a little bit, but I was getting kind of too skinny. Now today, you can see my face is a little bit thicker, but I've been gaining more muscle today. So I go about 210 to 215 pounds today between that range, and I feel comfortable there. But this was at like 204. Probably actually let's say 206. So I mean, what? Right, 8 pounds difference. So I was a little thinner at that point, but thinner wasn't really I wanted to go for 100%. So, but realistically, the journey wasn't the easiest thing, George. We all know that. No weight loss journey, no health journey is easy. And I had to, just like you, I had to kind of figure out, where do I go from here? So I got thin. And I remember you asked me at one point, you're like, dude, are you losing more weight? Like, you saw my face. This is probably like 6 months ago or so. Like, are you losing more weight? I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. Like, my face is getting kind of like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't you at what were you at? Like 201 or something?
I was like
that?
203. I think 203, 204. That was my lowest, I think. Actually, I probably was a little bit less when you saw me that one time. I just didn't weigh myself. But I was like, yeah, I think I am. It felt good. Like, I felt good, and I was eating pretty good, but my calorie range is pretty low. And I had to reinvent where I was going with it. And this is where we all can kind of understand something here. Wherever you're at in your journey today, you kind of have to invent a wheel for yourself to figure out where you go. And everybody's kind of at a different place today, right? You're at, maybe some of you are 100 pounds overweight. Maybe some of you are not overweight at all. And you just want to build muscle. Some of you might just be trying to just maintain health. You're trying to prevent premature disease. I am 5'8.5", I believe. Maybe
Don't
I
put a
shrank.
half in there. Don't put a half in there.
Every inch counts. Every half inch counts. Come on, baby.
What are you talking about? You talking about that? You're talking about your hair right now? Is that the half inch
If
we're
I
talking
put
about?
this down, don't be starting that with me. Come on, you want to talk hair, dude? I think yours is up a little bit more than mine.
Listen, this makes me more aerodynamic.
Okay, it's how we do it. It just helps your lift. Helps you lift more. But everybody's on a different road, right? And it's okay if you don't really know where you're going, but just putting your one foot in front of the other and starting the process is what really matters. And what I love about this whole process, and it's something Daniela just brought up. She asked how tall I was, and then she said, "Okay, that is healthy weight for your height."
Mm-hmm.
Is that a healthy weight for your height? Actually, according to the BMI charts,
oh, don't get me started on the
it's
BMI
not.
charts. No, it's not. I'm overweight. I'm overweight. Listen,
yeah, not morbidly.
listen,
I am obese.
Listen, I'm right. I'm obese right now. BMI.
I can see it. No, I'm joking. I love you.
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, no. According to the BMI, Justin and I are considered unhealthy. Actually, it's really funny. I got my follow-up. I got my yearly checkup coming up next month, and Daniela says I don't go by BMI charts. Yeah, we don't either.
We sleep on
body fat percentage and muscle mass. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember last year, I think I went in at 207. And my doctor's like, yeah, I think it'd be good for you to lose like 10 pounds. Like, brother, I got abs. What are you talking about? Like, what is this? Now I do want to go back to something, because we talked about this off air and I want to make sure you hit it. Justin, can you explain to the people, why do we not have as many pictures before the weight loss?
Well,
like, that was good. That was good what you said.
Yeah. Well, let's be realistic. We didn't want our pictures taken,
No,
right? We were afraid of the camera, if you will, because it exposes the truth. I mean, when you're a large person, somebody had to actually, that snapshot of me in that big picture of me, that was taken by surprise. The pictures that you received, George, that you were showing a little bit ago, you didn't know
those were candids.
Yeah.
No.
You don't know. Because I didn't necessarily say, hey, take my picture. Get me a good side
Mm.
over here. I wasn't saying any of that. I didn't want it. Get that far away from me. In fact, if you get that near me, I'm hiding. I'm putting a blanket over myself, even though it wouldn't cover everything because I was a large boy. It's just like I didn't want to be on camera. Don't show me,
Yeah.
and they took the picture. And even in the
Well,
process of losing,
yeah.
I didn't want that taken either because it would expose my stretch marks, or it expose my excess skin, or it would expose some body fat, and I'd feel really embarrassed. So I think that's one of the reasons why we don't, or I didn't want my pictures taken. And I
Mhm.
probably around the same thing as you, I would assume.
Well, so like if I knew my picture was taken, I had a checklist. Okay. Stand up straight. Exhale so you can suck in. Stick your neck out so your double chin doesn't touch.
Mm.
And stick your chest out.
I feel
I
like
did-
beast.
Bro, if I did those 5 things on camera, bro, I dropped like 20 pounds on camera.
And a black shirt.
And a black shirt. Yes. And you got to wear 2 t-shirts because if you wear 2 t-shirts, it flattens everything out.
Easy.
Bro, but yes. Yeah. So if you saw like pictures that I knew were being taken, I look like probably 20 to 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
But on the candids, I'm you know what? No, now though, I'm thankful for the candids.
Yeah.
I'm actually thankful my mom had she was going through her phone the other day because she was showing my son pictures, and he goes, "Fat daddy."
I love it. What's your name?
Well, because my kids have never seen me
Yeah.
overweight. They've only ever known me like this. And so when they see old pictures, they're like, my daughter especially, she makes a face. She's like,
Who is this guy?
I don't know who this is. And I'm like, that's daddy. And she goes, no.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
a stranger. That's a stranger.
but yeah, we did not want to have our pictures taken because it would just it would show the world. I would think that the world is seeing everything that's going on inside me, and I didn't want that to be seen.
I think that's exactly it. We didn't want to expose what we already saw in ourselves, and it's just we were embarrassed about it, and we had to get over that over time. Ben said I sit right around 220, which is by the height weight standard says I'm overweight, but all my levels are good and I can run an ultra. Wuss.
Hey, next time your doctor says you're overweight, tell him to come run an ultra with you.
Right, exactly. And I kid, that is remarkable, and I love how you keep up that lifestyle. BMI charts are a joke, he said. I agree. They really don't do it justice. And then Ben said this. I'd look like a zombie at my suggested weight.
Yes.
We don't want zombies flying around.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah said, amazing job. And she also said, how did you conquer emotional eating? That's a really good question. I think there's that's a really deep answer. We probably should do a pod episode on that sometime soon. But just a quick 30-second response from myself. How do you conquer that? Well, you have to find other things to take place of the eating and take place of the food. Right. And your desire to change that has to become priority in your mind. And you have to kind of think it through. Like, if I do this today, what will it do to me tomorrow? If I do this today, it's going to mess up my journey thus far I had today. I was eating clean all day long. And then coming to terms with what you're emotional about. Sometimes all you need is talk to somebody. Sometimes all you need is a hug. Sometimes all you need is a funny reel once in a while, or a scripture verse, or a prayer, or hey, get with your church friends, or get with your people, right? But there's a lot we could talk about with emotional eating. And I think we need to have an ep on that, George. And I think that'll help out a lot. But, it isn't impossible. And it's a work in progress. I think that's another statement we need to make too. It's like, you can't expect one day to say, I'm not going to emotionally eat today. Not going to happen.
Oh man.
Not going to happen.
You could have all the motivation in the world, man. And then it gets to 9 o'clock at night. You're tired. And the peanut butter jar is calling your name.
Crunchy peanut butter.
Oh, with a spoon. There's 2,880 calories in a 16-ounce jar of peanut butter. Do you know that?
I am not the crazy person who tries to figure that out. I like this guy.
But yeah, really quick, Sarah, I don't keep stuff. I don't keep like peanut butter. I don't keep it in the house. I get just enough to make my kids sandwiches for their school lunches. And that's it. But I don't keep chocolate in the house. I don't keep chips in the house. I don't keep that in the house. But like Justin said, call somebody. A lot of times I call my grandfather at night, just kind of touching base with him, seeing how he's doing. Call him a lot.
Grandpa, I'm fat. I need some help.
I call Papa a lot. But then I mean, Sarah, you're a Christian, so I'm talking to Sarah right now. And you know, and anybody can do this. I read the Bible, I pray, does wonders. Very thankful for those modes of change that God has put in my life. But those are some of the things that I do. And you know what, Jay, I think you're right. I think we should definitely do an ep on emotional eating. I think it would be very beneficial to everybody.
I think so too. And having go-tos besides the junk food and, you know, just having a plan in place. You know, failure to plan is planning to fail. It's a great quote. I think John Maxwell, maybe Zig Ziglar, one of them have said that. And it's a one that people tend to quote a lot, but you definitely need to plan accordingly, because it's only a matter of time till we get off our guard. And I still do it today. You know, I mean, it's easy to, but it's not anywhere near where I once was. Okay. So I'll emotionally eat like a salad. It's so ridiculous. Like, it's just extra lettuce and extra meat. Okay. It's still not good to have that reinforced in here though, right? Because I don't need to go to that to feel healthy or to feel like I need fulfilled by that stuff. Because it's not just about the food, it's about the habit. Yeah. And if food becomes that crutch, then there's some issues there we have to deal with.
And like you were saying too, it's usually when you feel like you've made it and you let your guard down. I know that happens with me. Like if I'm having a really good day or I've had a good couple of days, I'll just be like, I'll just stay up a little bit later. I'll just doom scroll on my phone. It'll be fine. And then I allow those tedious things to enter my life, those time wasters to enter my life, and then I'm up later than I should be.
Yep.
I'm letting my ghrelin levels get high. I'm getting tired, so my inhibitions are down, and I just put myself in a really bad spot because I think I'm doing better. It's like when people should take medications, like, oh, I'm taking the medication, I feel good, like real medication, not like Tylenol or whatever. But you know, I'm feeling good. Oh, I don't need to take it anymore because now I feel good. Oh, now I don't need to keep following the parameters that I've set in place of going to bed on time and not having food in the house and not doom scrolling on my phone because I feel good now. So I can start letting these things back in my life. And in that moment is when you're like, shoot, what did I just do?
Yeah. You let your guard down when you're tired. Your guard's down. And that happens with anything, you know, even back in the days where it was pornography. It's like when your guard's down, that's when temptation rises. Or if it's drinking, if your guard's down, it's easy to go to an alcohol bottle or can. With anything, food. Hey, maybe a gambling issue, right? Your guard's down. It's just one of those things. So, you know, our life is different today. So just to capitalize on our stories and kind of finishing that out, there have been some big differences. So we both have a story where we've lost some incredible amount of weight, 720 total. It did not come with ease. It came with work. I think a lot of us are expecting a pill just to tell us or an injection to tell us that it's easy to get through this. You don't have to do any work, nothing. You don't have to put anything into it. The truth is you do have to put something into it. When you didn't put something into it, look where it got you.
Yep.
I mean, contrast between the two. If I do something about this, something changes. If I don't, things stay the same or they get worse. So you have to count the cost on what you choose to do with that process. Are you going to do something about it? And are you going to make the changes necessary? And it doesn't have to be an overnight change. It can be a year change, 2-year change, but just small steps equal big results for a lot of people. Or are you okay with being in pain, fatigued, tired, messed up hormones, feeling overweight, not feeling energetic, things like that? Are you okay with that? Because if you are, stay where you're at. And I hope you don't do that. But I'm sharing with you, just to be real, like a brother to you right now, you're worth more than that. Don't stay where you're at, but you can. If you want to have less than best, then you can. But the truth is, there is a way out. We're launching that program soon. But aside from that, you can join that, of course. But aside from that, even making some small changes, like I'm going to go out on a lunch break for 10 minutes and just walk them down my street. I do that all the time. I'm going to stand up and work instead of sit down and work. I'm gonna choose to have a fruit today instead of that brownie today, just at least for one day of the week. I mean, it's that simple to make the changes. You can get some weights for your house and say, I'm going to buy a 5-10 pound dumbbell and just start doing bicep curls and shoulder presses at my house, just sitting down in my chair. grab a can, grab your kids, pick them up, whatever, just do something fun to make some activity happen. But it starts with you, and the old model that we have, it starts with you taking one step to make that happen for yourself. No step will force itself on you. You have to choose a step and then to keep going forward and progress from that point on. So we both have done that. We both have seen results. We both had to call some audibles along the way, modifications. We had to add some addition. We had to take away some things. We did things right, did things wrong. But the truth is, we're here today in front of you as real people, as two real people who have a story of imperfection leading them along the way to get the results and the goal that they're trying to get to. Guys, it's doable. I promise you. I promise you. What do you got, George?
I'm going to close with this. Yesterday, I was doing an at-home body workout. My son saw me doing that. He wanted to do it with me. So here we are now, spending time working out. And my son at the age of 4 is doing these things. And I'm getting near the end, and I'm struggling. I am doing pistol squats, which means you're on one leg with the other leg facing straight out, and you're squatting. And I'm having a heck of a hard time. And you know what he says to me? Daddy, you can do this. Keep going. Bro, like that melted me. Like I busted out 5 more reps after that, man. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. But it's that my son at the age of 4 is seeing, even in the smallest of way, his father pushing through adversity for a better tomorrow. And later on that night, he's talking about how he wants to get big and strong like daddy, that he needs to eat all of his food to get strong like daddy, that daddy goes to the gym to get strong, to be a good daddy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, like that is just all the motivation in the world to me. And I remember back in 2017 when I said to myself, I want to be better for my future kids. And I lived it out in that moment right there.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's good. And that example, though they become teenagers, bratty, but those things do somehow take residence up here a little bit and eventually come out later on and saying, my dad used to do this. I remember this, this is the example that he set before me. This is what mom did for me. This is what mom's example looked like for me. Right. And, we're doing this more for ourselves, bro. This is more than just for ourselves. So yeah, we have to put into work. We want the we want the results from that. We want to feel good. But as Christians, number one, our job, our life is not about us. Though we have to be selfish for a little bit to make it about us so we can get healthy and give the time up and do all the sacrificial stuff. That has to be our time. But we are basically not just doing it for ourselves, because there's a greater mission involved. And that is to be a light to other people who are watching, and to show that we're an example of hope through the precious, amazing Lord and Savior who's rescued us from ourselves, but also from the hard work that he's given us the ability to do to get to where we're at today. And we want to be a wholehearted person to help people find that same love, that same excitement that comes from him. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to come back with more episodes. We have some great guests lined up. We're trying to get them. I have a lady. She's amazing. Her name's Tiffany Ryder. She was in the healthcare organization, in modern type of, how do you want to put this, like hospital settings and insurance and things like that. And she kind of left that scene because there was some really corrupt things may have been going on and things that, just aren't good with insurance companies and stuff. We're not going to get shut down for this. Insurance companies can be good. Just saying, it can be good, but there are some things, guys, that she's going to speak out on, and we're excited for that. And she's definitely going to be talking about that. George, you talked about having maybe a registered dietitian come on that you're looking into.
Yeah, that's looking really promising. I'm hoping to get a registered nutritionist and dietitian on here. Went to high school with the guy. He's doing great things.
Nice.
I think we've nailed down a date, and hope to have him on. It's going to be great, guys, because listen, you got to have the right fuel for the machine. And that's why I want to have this guy on, to get a better idea of what kind of fuel do we need to be putting into our bodies.
That's awesome. And don't forget, guys, check out the 600 Pounds Down podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Amazon. Also YouTube live. We had live on YouTube as well, and also the recordings on there. But definitely check it out. Go ahead and rate it a 5 and subscribe to it. We'd love to have that happen. We really appreciate that. Share it with other people. Definitely leave a review, 5-star review, 555. Okay. So that'd be awesome, you guys. Also, don't forget, George, what do we got going on with the private Facebook group?
Well, we are at 1,000 members. Praise God. It is
1,011.
awesome. What? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta make, I stopped tracking at 1,000. But yeah, we have a private Facebook group, encouragement, camaraderie, pitfalls and triumphs. It's a place where you can get that encouragement, guys. Justin posts in there, I post in there, other people post in there, great things, sometimes funny things, sometimes a little pithy things, but it's absolutely free. Go ahead and join, be a part of it. And it's a great time.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, guys, we'll be back within the next week or two to share another episode with y'all. It's going to be exciting. Definitely want to talk about the emotional eating. There's a lot of great content coming this way, and it's hard to put it all into 1 hour. In fact, we go over all the time, so don't hate us. But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been fun. We love sharing our stories. You can hear more about our stories in a 600 Pound Down Facebook group, and also previous podcast episodes that we have going on. We shared some of that in there too. So definitely give it a listen, share, like, subscribe, all the things. And we'll catch you next time on, George, what's it called?
600 Pounds Down podcast.
See you next time.